Welcome to this episode of the DJ Interview with your host, Harry the Big Dog.
Yeah, that's me, Harry the Big Dog here, and this is the DJ Interview. What's up, everybody out there? Today's special guest, bro. This is our you know what? Let me as always, I got my notes to the side. Let me read a little bit of it. Today we got DJ LDuB. Now, original from Chicago area. I don't know if y'all heard him in the background, but he's amped to come on it too. Some of his DJ learnings from early in his career when he was getting started was from DJs like Steve Hurley and Ron Hardy. You know, he's a fellow Army vet. So peace. Army people put in the chat. He's been into Germany. He's been all over. He is one of our first. Let me get this right. One of our first gospel house DJs. So my bro DJ LDuB, what's going on, man?
Hey, DJ, my man, DJ Harry. DJ Interview in the house. Harry the Big Dog. Talking to my brother, my fellow Army.
Yes. At the time of this airing, Veterans Day is getting ready to come up. So, you know, shout out to all the veterans that's out there. All of them.
All right. Yes.
How many years you did, you're still a veteran to me.
All right. Yes.
So now, let everybody know your government name if you want, and how you got your DJ name. It's always interesting how these DJs sometimes they have 2 or 3 names before, you know, they eventually come on my show. Like all the DJs gonna eventually come on my show.
This is the place to be, and I'm glad to be a part of it. My name is Lloyd Ronald Wharton. That is my government name that my parents gave me. They saw fit. But in the later of life, when I decided that I was interested in DJing, I started out as DJ Lil Bro.
Lil Bro.
That just came about because I had a friend of mine who was in the Army. He was Duskins was his last name, but he was Big Bro. I was Lil Bro because we went everywhere. He taught me the club scene in this place called Oklahoma, Lawton, Oklahoma. And I'm from Chicago, so for me it was all house and disco, house.
Yeah.
So going to the scenes out there helped me to get acclimated to the hip hop and to the R&B, to the dirty South, to the reggae. I mean, we would go to these different clubs, and so he was Big Bro, I was Lil Bro. That was my first DJ name. And so later on in life, I was getting a little bit older to be a Lil Bro, to raise it up a little bit. And so later on in life, I became DJ Wrecking Ball. And, I don't know why I thought of Wrecking Ball, maybe Wrecking Shop. I don't know what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Just trying to grab the straws, Wrecking Ball.
How long did you have that name?
Wrecking Ball? Okay, so Little Bro was about 2 years.
Uh-huh.
Wrecking Ball was say about 5 years, I think. And then, you know, that wasn't I wasn't feeling that anymore, and said, okay, DJ Wreck. Okay, yeah, okay, that sounds tough. You know, DJ Wreck. You just wreck, you know, and so after a while that got old. That was played out. I said, okay, it's time to do something different. When things changed in my life, that's when LDuB came about. It's like, and LDuB is actually it's a two-part meaning. It's, you know, of course, LDuB, LW, you know, my initials, but also I edit. I edit music, I edit videos, and so forth. I edit, you know, I call myself not just a DJ, but a media jock. And so the editing piece is where that, you know, that's where the dub part comes into it. So influences, of course, the DJs you said mentioned before, and then there are other people as well I'd like to mention down the road. But the editing piece is a part of what I've helped me in my career.
Nice. So take us on this journey. You are young, Lil Bro, DJ Lil Bro. You're that person, and now you get, well, prior to that, you get into DJing. What made you get into DJing? I know Chicago was one of them founding areas of house, but what made you get into the DJ thing?
Interesting thing. So for me, you know, I guess I've always liked music. And so I started out when I was coming up in age, you know, I was into the AM stations, you know, I think Tom Joyner was on, I forgot the name of it, but it was an AM station he used to listen to, he used to be on. And then I switched over to the station called WLS. And that was more, I guess, the pop, you know, the pop stations. But then my brother introduced me to the WGCIs and the WBMX. And I'm like, wow, okay.
And these are all Chicago stations.
These are all Chicago stations.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I discovered that there were mixes on these stations. I was mix, okay. People playing mixes. And it started out with the WBMX. And no, you know what? The AM station had it too, but it was better on the FM dial, you know, because the FM didn't have all the crackling and all the.
Of course, better quality
music. I'm like, you know, if I had known about high fidelity, that to me that would have been back then. But I'm listening to the stations and I'm like, wow, these guys are playing their heart out. And you know, so back then they had the Hot Mix 5, they had the Farley Keith, they had the Steve Hurley, Andre Hatchett, you know, these people come up, Jamie Principle, you know, the Frankie Knuckles would come on, and I'm like, these were like headliner type things, you know, sitting and listening to on the radio. I'm like, wow, okay, these guys are playing some phenomenal music, and I'm loving their mixes. And no matter who, I mean, you had your favorites, you know, Scott Smoking Sills and you know, Julian Jumper Perez and all these folks, you know, who are doing their thing on the radio. And I'm like, I would love to do that. And so my first DJing actually came from dubbing their music. I would record their sets, and I would splice in the songs that I liked, and I would blend them in, you know, with dub tape, you know, because for me, was it Ron Hardy back then used to do the splicing of the tape, and he used to have some sick remix stuff, right? Sick mix, you know, remixes of music, and which alluding back, the first one that got me was "It's Not Over," you know, "It's Not Over," Fresh Choice.
Yep. First
he had the train, that railroad track. Don't, and you know that I was captivated, right? And so I'm sitting there listening to this, and I'm listening to all these mixes and all the skill set here on the mix, and I'm like, I want to do that. I would love to do that. I wish I knew how to do that. So in time, I met different people. I forgot the brother's name. His name was John at school. But then he was mixing, and that's the one. He's where I heard that mix of the Ron Hardy tape, because he would bring in back then the mixtapes was the hot thing. He would bring in the mixtape and play it during class. We're all, oh yeah, that's good. I can't wait to get to the club. You know, I don't know if I can get out, but yeah, I'd like to get to the club. You know, so we would listen to that, and that would continue on. You know, as you know, going to I would love to go to a party. I'd love to go to a party. So. In my freshman year, I met a guy named T.D. John Summers. I have to shout this brother out because he's the one who actually gave me the boost to go ahead and start wanting to DJ. actually live. This thing can actually manifest in my life. I can touch the deck. How do you get two turntables to two records to talk to each other? You know,
Right.
And,
Exactly.
he was a bad dude. He still is a bad dude. But I'm saying he was a bad dude on the decks, and I'm like, I want to learn that. And so we became friends in high school. We went to Mendel High School our freshman year. We didn't continue, but it's okay. That's another story. But we were friends, and we went to all these clubs and these different sets, the Warehouse, the CODs, the Box, all these different clubs. And
Right.
we watched these DJs, and and it was a part of history. I didn't even know that I was a part of history. When I say a part of history, actually going to these things, these places are no more.
Wow.
These places are no more. If they are, they're deep underground. These were considered underground spots. They must be in the dirt underground now, because I don't know, because I haven't been home to see what the club scene is now, but I know it's not like it was.
Yeah.
It's not like it was. But going back to the original question, is just for me that he's the one who started me. John TD Summers. I had to shout him out, let him know. And from there,
Shout out to John.
the seed was planted, and so from there, just started buying records at the record store, just buying different ones. One of the songs I bought was disco songs. I want to be a freak, but I can't help myself. And
Right.
I'm a big freak. Are you one too? The stuff like that. The Patrick Adams stuff. Because I like that beat. I like that four to the floor, the disco. That house music had me.
Yeah.
So it still has me, but the different vein. But just going. And so I'm sitting here buying music. I'm learning how to blend stuff together, taking a tape cassette and a record player. I didn't really have I had a record collection that I bought over time, along with grabbing stuff from my brother, the Richard Pryor albums and all the stuff, the what's the Stevie Wonder, those record albums,
Yes.
just buying different albums and then grabbing and incorporating until I went to the military. Now, when I went to the military, of course, you can basically take the clothes off your back when you come in there. What you came in, you barely coming in.
Yeah.
Stuff went into storage, and then I had that until I went to my first duty station. And sort of took a little hiatus because I didn't get a chance to really practice that because your focus was the Army.
Right.
So,
Where did you go? Where did you go when you went to
so I was born and raised Chicago, but they tricked me. They tricked me into going to Lawton, Oklahoma, Fort Sill. Yeah, that's what the recruiter was laughing. The recruiter was laughing, and I'm like, "Come on!"
They got you.
They got me good. But that was the dumbest, greatest decision I ever made.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went through that, because Lord knows what I'll be doing now, or if I'll be around. Because young man in Chicago. Right.
Yeah.
But my DJing continued when I started, Radio Shack was such a thing back then. Went and bought my mixer. I had a generic turntable and just started playing with music. And I had a tape cassette that had I learned, because I was heavy into electronics. I had an oscillator, to be able to change the pitch on the thing. Okay. So I'm making mixtapes.
You was high tech for back then. I say you was high tech for back then.
I was, I'm sitting there watching these guys. I'm like, I want to learn what y'all doing. And so, watching what other people do, it's okay, because you're learning. You're learning your craft. You're studying. Study, show yourself approved. Just continue to to get into what you love to do.
Yes.
I eventually bought the 2 turntables, the mixer, and started playing mixing. This was in the I would practice after work. I practiced before work. I would practice during different times.
Before you keep going, we got this ongoing thing in this DJ interview. What turntables did you get first?
Oh my gosh, it was it wasn't Technique. It was like Pioneer, belt driven, something. I know one of them was a Tandy something. It was the old school belt driven. If your belt broke, then you put a rubber band. You put a rubber band on there, and then you weren't mixing, you weren't scratching, you were just hurrying up that thing along, speeding it on to get it to be on beat. But old school, everything pawn shop. Let me stress that, pawn shop. Pawn shop and Radio Shack. Because I didn't have the money like that to be able to buy this expensive equipment. I didn't even know such equipment existed until I started seeing the big dogs, do that thing. I said, oh, that's a thing? Oh, techniques? Oh.
DJ Hands Up is laughing.
That's my dude. DJ Hands Up.
Everybody know. He knows.
If you had a belt drive, if you didn't have rubber bands, you're short.
Putting them in the freezer. Remember putting them things in the freezer to see if they'll shrink?
Like, oh man, don't let it get hot. Pop. You're like, oh, I was mixing. And then you had to try and hurry that record along to try and keep it on beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Yes, we have. So now you're in the Army. Mm-hmm. You got your stuff out of storage, mm-hmm. and what happens then? Do you just start kind of practicing? Does everybody know you're a DJ already, or do you just kind of
me, myself, and I? And so my roommate, to his disdain, I was sitting there playing all day, all night, playing, music. He's like, man, I'm trying to get to sleep. Yeah, but I'm practicing. Come on, don't tell Sarge on me. I'm trying to, but I would. It was a progressive thing, because I just developed an affinity of going to the pawn shop, because the pawn shops, you can get gems out of the pawn shop, and I actually learned about a lot of producers and artists. You learned that the certain producer was on that label, or that label had a certain song or whatever, it most likely was a hit, because some people, had their track record of great music. They would either background sing, or they would write the song, or they would produce the song, whatever.
Yep.
These certain labels at the time, the certain artists, you can actually, the record albums told a story. You just look on the back. Okay, yeah, that's the song. I didn't even know. Some songs I discovered on accident. Because, I would go based off of color. Okay, the color of this album looks like this might be a hit.
This looks like it's gonna be good.
It looks like it's gonna be. Oh, it is good. Now at the same time, there's a lot of them that were garbage, but but I got a nice album cover. I got back here. I got proof. You
remember back in the day with the album covers? You actually had nice artwork. You could turn it around. Some of them had the lyrics on the back or in the sleeve. Where it was recorded, who did the bass, who did this track, who did that track.
You don't get that with MP3s. The little logo. Yeah. The little logo would say, "Oh, this might be a good one."
You do not get that with MP3s.
You barely get the crackle name. You won't get the crackle. You won't get the record feel. None of that. But all this culminated of continuing to purchase records and albums and equipment, and over time, I got the nerve enough. Well, actually, a guy had asked me to do his Vietnamese. That's right, DJ Hands Up. DJ Hands Up, by the way, is Joe Dunbar. That's my boy from New Jersey. His wife Nita. Shouts out to them. We're in the Worldwide DJ Network together, the Gospel Division. So I have to shout him out. That's my.
We'll get him on one day.
He's a good guy. They had I'm buying equipment, and just I did a Vietnamese birthday party. Didn't know what the heck I was doing, but guess what? They were playing not gospel. They were playing disco.
Right.
They wanted disco. I'm like, oh, okay, that's up my alley. And so we're playing, and they were loving it. And like that led to different events. And I actually got the nerve to go to the local clubs, the hot clubs that were off base. Hot clubs to be able to, hey, I would love to DJ at your juke joint. It started out the juke joints. Of all the juke joints that I remember, one is called the Chat and Chew. I have to shout that place out because I grew up club wise playing. That was my first. Those places were my first residences.
Oh, so, nice.
they believed in me. I'm here, this young guy, this 18-year-old, coming to your adult club and playing music, and they actually loved the way I played. And so it just continued on. It helped to build my craft, to help build my confidence. You know, just playing different music, and then blending and okay, they have these things called techniques. Okay, yeah, I'm playing, and I just bring my crates of records up there, my 7 crates of records, and then you have music, and then just playing. And so it just continued to grow.
Right.
And I would go home and practice and buy more music and just keep up with the latest and greatest. I would try, and they loved it. They loved it, and so it just continued on this process of growth. And then I got a chance to listen to other DJs play. I'm like, wow, okay, well, I could do that. I can definitely still listen to the radio, still going to the club. I transitioned from going to dance to the club to wanting to play in the club. You know, because that whole thing, why am I paying to come just dance? You know, when I can actually go and push the music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I actually like to see other people enjoy themselves, and that's still today. You know, no matter what I'm doing, enjoy the music. And so we just continue to learn. And then I had this opportunity. I went to Korea and got a chance to play there just a little bit at an off club. It's on a whim. They had this thing called CDs at that time. I'm like, CD? What's a CD? And so it was sort of the players that they have, it was sort of like tape players. And so you just know the cue, play that music. And then even though these 2 beats aren't exactly the same, you just knew to time it to make sure it timed on beat.
Right.
You know, it may be 4 beats, but at least you timed it, boom, boom, and throw the other one in. That was an off-scene thing, but that was very short-lived. My true experience didn't come until I went to Germany. His name is Mr. Magic, Alan Stokes. I don't know where he's at, but he was in the army. He was. Oh,
when I've read that, I'm like, this dude knows Mr. Magic, because Mr. Magic was an icon in New York, in the New York area. We had a radio personality, Mr. Magic, and I was
different one,
dude, just this dude. Shout out to DJ Cam.
Hey, DJ Cam.
He's saying, "What's up?"
What's up, sir? Yeah. It's a totally different Mr. Magic. Let me clear that up. Yeah. But he was magic. He was truly an inspiration in my life, because he took this young soldier, because he was an E7. He was my platoon sergeant when I first got there. And I saw that he DJ'd. And I said, hey, I would like to DJ with you. Can I DJ with you? You know, and without a second thought, he said, yeah, sure. And from then on, he took me under his wing, and we went and DJ'd all over Germany.
Wow.
We went to the different LWR clubs. And so for me, I'm here, this young house DJ who wants to play house all night. Boom, boom, boom. Over energy, this energy in Germany. Bang, bang, bang. He said, you need to switch your stuff up. Don't always play house music, man. Learn the other genres. Mm-hmm. And I just wouldn't stop. Guy plays the house, And so the way, let me back that up. So when we played in Germany, in the different clubs, you had 2 sets of DJs. And so I was a part of his crew, and then there was another crew. So every night when we played, it was like you switch up. So every hour on the hour, the next DJ crew would play. And then out of the crew, we would flip-flop.
Right.
So when it came to my time, I'm always playing house, but he set me up one time. He played house, and I didn't know what else to play. I didn't know what else to play. So I had to learn the other genres of music.
Right.
Now, mind you, this is when CDs started coming into play, and I'm like, oh, what do I do with this? And he would let me play his CDs. He said, just don't scratch my CDs. I'm like, it was cool because he was patient. He let me, and I learned that thing, and I actually was getting comfortable. And I actually started buying CDs at that point. This is like 93, 95 time period.
Okay.
In Germany, I was stationed in Babenhausen, Germany. We went to, it was in Babenhausen, Germany. It was between Darmstadt and Aschaffenburg. And we played everywhere from Darmstadt, Hanau, Frankfurt, Kaiserslautern.
Hanau. Wasn't it a club in Hanau called the Black Experience or something like that?
I'm not sure. I'm talking about the MWR club in Hanau.
Okay.
But what you're sounding, it's almost sounding like what you're telling me. There's a place in Frankfurt that was called the Funkadelic.
I know it was a place in Frankfurt, but we went out to Hanau and played at this club, and it was all urban music, and we were amazed. I was in Germany for probably about 33 days.
Okay, was this on base or off base?
Off base.
Yeah, so that I'm not familiar with.
Okay.
That I'm not familiar because I was strictly on base until in Babenhausen. I played at a place, Los Alamos in Babenhausen, and then I think that was it. But I mean, went to the different. It was mostly on base where I played in Germany.
Okay.
At the different concerns. But I enjoyed myself. I had a ball. I wish I was still there, but when it was time to go, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It was a great experience because he took me under his wing and we played at the different clubs, and then I wish I had the money, but when he got out of it, he gave me the opportunity to buy his equipment. I didn't have it. I didn't have it. It was almost like a turnkey because he had his van, he had his equipment. He said, "Here, I'm getting out of this because I'm getting ready to leave. You have you have the first dibs to buy it." Didn't have it. Didn't have it. But I was buying my own equipment over the time. First sergeant at the time sold me his speakers and bought turntables. Just was gearing up and was doing different events. Started doing different events. I learned to start volunteering to doing different events for my for the base, for different events for the clubs.
Right.
Anybody who wanted, just to get exposure and just playing what I love to play and, whatever was hot at the time. And, just the rest is history, just continue to grow.
Right.
This is the DJ wrecking ball period. Still.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the wrecking ball period.
So at what point did you leave Germany and come back to the States?
So my tour was over. I was stationed there. I was in Korea from 1991 during the Desert Storm desert period. But then 93, I was back in Oklahoma. They kept sending me back to Oklahoma. I don't know why. But 93.
Every time they sent you there, right?
I pissed somebody off. I don't know. They kept sending me back to that place. I'm like, come on, man. But I guess it helped me to be familiar with the area because set back and readjust. It's not like it was a major thing. The only thing I had to adjust was what unit I was in. But
right,
off the coast, let's go. But it was 93, 95. 93 was in Germany. Then 95, I came back to Oklahoma.
Okay.
And then that's where I was getting back into the club. I played at a place called the Mad Dog Saloon. Ask me about the Mad Dog Saloon. Mad Dog Saloon was a honky tonk. Yes, it was. I played country.
Yeah.
But guess what? I was playing R&B and hip hop and so forth at first because this guy, the owner, wanted me to play a schedule like I were at a radio station. They said, "Yeah,
right.
At 12 o'clock you're gonna play R&B. At 12:15 you're gonna switch to pop."
He must have trained his crowd.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He was trying to dictate what was, another DJ had brought me in to play, and they actually liked the way I played, but you couldn't you can't force what the crowd wants to hear. Right. You got to listen to your crowd. You got to watch your crowd. And so, so I'm sitting there trying that, and check this out. The guy, I was supposed to be playing like the R&B set. The R&B folks weren't dancing. I said, okay. I'm just sitting there playing, and guess what? This guy comes up and hands me $20 bill. Stand by your man. You better believe I switched that thing up.
Better believe it.
Better believe I switched that thing up because they were paying. They were paying to play. Yeah, I sure did. But then after that, I was able to play whatever I wanted to play because
Right.
that his format wasn't working. And I just learned. I played what is called the wave. I like to call it the wave, the up and down,
Mhm.
the up and down. Playing, the fast music, the hip hop, and then down, come down, maybe play the slow, play the line dances, play the country, play the rock, and then go back up. And the people, they loved it. They great energy on the floor, and that helped me to hone the craft of being able to read the crowd, be able to read and understand, because it was a diverse group, white, black, Asian, whatever. They came in and they partied hard.
Now,
They partied hard.
at this point, you're still analog. You're still playing records.
Still playing
CDs?
records and
Okay.
CDs at this point.
Okay.
Records and CDs, and back then, they had their own cadre of music up there that I could pull from too. So whatever I didn't have, they had, like, I guess, like promo only, whatever. They'd
Yeah.
have their CDs. Oh yeah, okay. The latest CD came in. Make sure you play the tracks on here. No, that's fine. Because they were hot. They were remixes, and so I'm sitting there playing this stuff. One song I remember, I like it, I love it. They had a dance version. And out there was the Miami music, so they loved that Miami music. The
The Miami bass music.
Yeah, like the 2 Live
Yeah.
Crew and the Tootsie Roll
Yeah.
and all that. Everything. Yeah, so I'm mixing the country with that, and like, okay, oh, that goes with that. Okay, and they were on the floor, they didn't leave, and then transition out of that genre into the next genre. So you weren't dictated, you weren't stuck in one genre. Was able to keep it going,
Mm-hmm.
and they loved it. They loved it, and so that was another learning experience during that period. Don't assume what people
Right.
like about it. You just give them what they want. They want energy. They came to party. You better give them what they want. You can't force a program.
For sure. So now you get to the year in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? This is your pivotal change moment now.
Mm-hmm. So I left the Army in '96.
Mm-hmm.
It came a dark point, where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was still in Oklahoma. I'm from Chicago. I didn't want to go back to Chicago because my mom died in '93.
Okay.
So that was torn up for me. I really had no reason personally. I didn't want to go back to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I was dealing with things like divorce, dealing with separation. My kids, I had 2 daughters, Stephanie, Simone. Dark moment in my life, and so I thank God for my brother. It came a point in '97. He said, "Hey man, come check out, see if you like the DC area." And so we came out, job hunted, got me on fast track, found a job, and I moved out here in '98.
Wow.
Music thing was on hiatus for a minute. Didn't know
Right.
what to do. It still had some records, had my records in stash in tow. My friend John TD Summers, it actually came from Chicago with me to help me move,
Mm-hmm.
transition from Oklahoma to DC area. We met some guys over time, and we actually were running a club. We met this Ethiopian guy. His name was Sam. Is right across the street from a place called the State of the Union. For those who are familiar with the State of the Union, Sam the Man Burns, rest in peace. He was the man. Sunday nights, he would tear that house music up. So I'm like, oh, there's house music in DC. So yeah, he came, we used to play, and so we were running a club, open mic night, which was strange for me because it was hip hop. Hip hop crowd, open mic, people just spitting, and it turned from a little thing that we were doing it turned into a big thing, a little hole in the wall club.
Right.
Folks were coming faithfully on, I think it was like Thursday nights. It was Thursday nights they would come to that open mic night to spit on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was phenomenal, and what's interesting for me was the transition period was God would always have me playing, right? In Psalms 23, Lord is my shepherd. I would always pray before I played and pray before we'd have these events. And it started, the ministry aspect of things started for me was we would have a circle and say, "Come on, everybody, let's pray before we start this event."
Okay.
And it's turned from a small circle to turn into a big circle of folks. We just pray. Now, mind you, it was still a secular event, but nonetheless, people had a mind to come pray.
Right.
I think back to that, and I'm touched because I'm like, God was doing something back there. I didn't know.
You didn't know what, but he was doing something.
That was the beginning of something. And, from then on, it would go its course. But, we couldn't start an event without bathing in prayer. And who knows what things were staved by doing that action, because there are several places, there are several venues in the D.C. area where people were shooting up and doing all the types
DC was rough back then.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. We've had some fights, but it didn't escalate to somebody getting killed.
Right.
And so we had a mind to pray, and things would, it started becoming successful until things went south, and the owner's brother owned a cab company, Super Cab was it called, but then he put him in charge of the club, Cafe Tango, but he would drink up and smoke up the profits. And so the brothers always come to us like, okay, well, where's the money? I'm like, talk to your brother. Talk to your brother. We're doing the best we can. We're promoting and doing, people like, what's the name? I forgot the name of this group out of Chicago, but I know Tony Terry. There's different things. What the thing was, BT used to be thriving in DC, and they said, well, where's the place we can go to for open mic? They would send them to our club. They would send them out there, and I wish I had pictures. Doggone it, we didn't have smartphones back then, but they would come out to the event. People would literally not fight, but they were literally, I got to be on this open mic. We have to list, to get them out for this open mic, and they spit. Some people went on to do some great things. Other ones, it was good for them to get on the stage. And you're going to laugh. Our stage were pallets. Our stage were pallets. We went to a junkyard and just found pallets and just put them in the middle of put a carpet on it and called it a day. And folks were up. That thing was a death trap. That thing was a death trap. But they were out there spitting, oh, just it was a good time because people would, they would come and they would pack. And then now, mind you, this place was not up to code, because if you filled that place, and that the go-go moves, floor,
you feel it stinking, right?
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, this thing's it's gonna end bad if this thing gives way. But they came to that little hole in the wall. Right across the street from my main club, Mark Barnes. So the State of the Union, and I'm forgetting the name, but there was a major club that was across the street. And then there was another Ethiopian guy below us. It was one of those, how they take a building. It's the same building, but they'll split the upstairs and downstairs. Right. He would hate. They would send everything from alcohol and tobacco to electricity to the water, to try and shut us down.
Wow.
I'm like, come on now, you're making your money. Why are you trying to, And so we had to fight these different challenges, but we overcame. But it eventually failed because of mismanagement of the venue, and then actually some of the mismanagement of ourselves. We weren't doing things right. But so that phase ended. I didn't really DJ during that period. It was, for me, it was more of club management.
Okay.
Promotions and management. But bear with me. It took a break, and I went through, again, another dark place where I didn't know what I wanted to do. Was actually getting to a point where I was homeless, not knowing where to go, what to do. I actually stayed with friends. And eventually I met this young lady, and we got an apartment together, just keep that short. I love you, Nanette. It wasn't my wife, but, this was before you. And so, we had met, and just that didn't work out, but I wanted to keep in the apartment.
Right.
And I still had my system. I still had my records, and started, getting more equipment again, picking the interest again. And I said, well, you know what? I DJ. I want to find a place where I can DJ. And this is around 2001. At first, I had rededicated my life in 2000 because things went dark, and I was just searching for God. And I found him. You know, he found me. You know, I was went to a church. The crazy thing, the thing that I was caught up in chasing women. Met a young lady on the bus on the way to work, and come to find out she was a minister. Like I had my thoughts, she had her thoughts. You know, God had his. And basically, she invited me to a church, and I said, okay, fine, I'll go Easter. You know, because she kept trying to invite me, and I said, yeah, I'll go Easter, but I didn't have a vehicle, and I didn't really have money to get to where she had to go, and so where I was at in DC was near a place called Fort Totten, and so I'm sitting there heading out there, but I said, okay, forget it, this is not working, and so I gave up, and I passed the church, headed to the train station. I said, fine, I'll go here, see what they have to offer.
Right.
I get in there, and the lady at the door was like, yes, service over. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'll never forget this brother. I think his name was Todd, if I remember correctly. Todd was like, no, man. We have another service. Come on in. Because they almost lost me. I was like, okay, deuces. I'm like, I know where I'm at.
I know where I'm not wanted.
I know where I'm not wanted. You don't have to tell me twice, you know. But come to find out, they had another service. It was multiple services. And it was called Kingdom Life Christian Center. And Pastor Donald Wright, Pastor Miriam Wright, you know, all the pastorate, you know, leadership and so forth. Phenomenal teaching, charismatic at the time. And that day, his thing was about choices. That was the message, about choices. And so basically, I'm
you
sitting
needed
here
to hear at the time.
It was apropos to, you know, where I was at. And it's like, you know, the life and death, you know, these things are before you. And I was in a very dark place. And that day I rededicated my life, and rededicated because over the course of time, I kept going back to church, but the club was calling me. It's like the club and women were, you know, and I'm like, no, out of here. running, years of running. That was the pivotal moment, defining moment is what they call it. That I rededicated and gave my life to Christ, and that's where the journey started.
Right.
Because I wasn't DJing at that point. Well, no, correction, I was DJing, but I was still like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I was DJing at a place called
Part-timer.
Trying to feel and find my way. My last residency secular was a place called Crush. I was in Adams Morgan. I was playing there for like 2 years. Coming there and then going to service. You know, tired. But this is actually during 9/11. Yeah, during 9/11 was during that period. Sit there and was playing and, you know, just dealt with that moment, just different, you know, points in history. You know, just this goes back to the whole thing, don't judge, because I was playing in a white club. But they had blacks that would come in and I would play, you know, I didn't know what they wanted to hear, and they wanted to hear the Jay-Z's and all the hip hop. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. And so, you know, and playing the pop and just, you know, don't get stuck in one genre, because that's there I was able to play the house again. I was starting to play, you know, different genres that I'd learned along the way, and along with the new stuff, the pop and the alternative rock, and just, you know, again, doing the wave, you know, the ups and downs. And I was starting to get convicted about what I was playing. That health-wise, I had to leave that alone because the smoke was tearing me up. You know, the smoke would come in, and I'm sitting there breathing, and it was, you know, it wasn't good for, you know, I got out of the Army for asthma, and so that wasn't a, you know, good look, trying to navigate that. But it was when God started touching me about what I was playing, I started playing gospel. I started learning gospel music. I'm like, okay, well, where's the, you know, what can I play? What can I, you know, do? And I had different people, David King Wood, but my wife who I started seeing, we were friends at the time. She was showing me, she had a whole lot of gospel music.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna date you if if you play all this other raunchy stuff, it's not gonna work. And so I started, showing her jazz. Jazz, okay, I like jazz, this and that, and she was okay. And so she would show me, I would show her the easy listening music, the jazz and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I would learn the gospel. And at the time, excuse me, it was called R&P, Rhythm and Praise. The R&B version of gospel music. And so these different artists. And the first song that I liked was Demita Haddon. Demita Haddon song, I Can Feel Him in My Heart. I Can Feel Him, something like that. But Demita Haddon, former wife of Dietrich Haddon. And then David Kingwood and Sonny Fulton, different people from our church. It introduced me to Fred Hammonds and the CeCe Winans and all these different artists that have the rhythm and praise. So I'm like, okay, we can do that, and I started playing it in the club. And because I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, guys said play it. And I said, okay. And I want to mix it in there, and people didn't leave the floor. I'm like, oh, okay, this might be something. And it just, continued to foster and continue to play until he eventually said, you got to leave this place. You got to leave this place. And I'm like, what? I had dreams about couldn't DJ anymore, and this is over. And I'm like, no, why? Why? This is my thing.
This is what I like to do. Come on.
This is what I like to do. This is my thing. And actually, he took it away. I was sat down, so to speak. Couldn't DJ anymore. Opportunities weren't there. It was shut down.
Wow. Is this because you were playing gospel music, or you just
conviction of what I was playing?
Okay, gotcha.
Conviction of what I was playing, and then actually he was speaking to me, leave it alone, shut it down. And then if you don't want to shut it down, I'll shut it down. The opportunities were dried up. Same thing with dating. For that matter, I was like, why? When I was in the military, it was no problem. Oh, I want this person, that person, and things shut down.
Wow.
Until God, he said, I give you myself before I give you anyone else. The standard, and I'm like, until you gave me a dream and say, basically, if you're the fisherman, what does fishermen do? And you explained it to me, fish. He said, in order to fish, you got to have what? Bait. Okay, and in order to have the bait, you got to know what type of fish you want.
Right.
Well, you don't have anybody, dude. You got to get it right. You got to get yourself together. You're sitting there you go fishing for anything, you're going to get anything.
Yeah.
So he gave me himself. He sat me down. Had to learn to respect. Had to learn to serve, and to submit myself to his authority and his plan, this perfect plan and will. It was developing, and then over in that time, that's where the drama. When I say drama, I was in the drama ministry.
Okay.
Became the director, assistant director with drama, and that's where I got a chance to do the editing. That's where that started coming into play. The editing for sound effects for the play, and grabbing music and grabbing sound bites and so forth, and to integrate for the play. We put it on CD, all the tracks, and that steered me in the direction of production. Production with effects.
Right.
Provide that for music and for different ministry. I got a chance to start building a taste for that. And then in time, we had our church function. They said, okay, we want to have some music. Well, I DJ. And they actually allowed me to play for an event. And so for a couple of events, and I actually played for, we had a fundraiser / car wash that we did, and I played, and guy to put in my, all right, okay, so you may not be able to play these tracks, but you these songs with these raunchy music, whatever, but play instrumental music and put the gospel, put the message on top of the thing, and they loved it. They're sitting there jamming and listen to the word in the name of Jesus, and just listen to the music, and it was I call it working word, and so the passion started coming back to DJ. The passion started coming back. Like, oh, okay, there's a purpose in what I did. Is this and that, and we'd had a lot of youth ministry where they'd have the gospel go, the gospel hip hop and rap and so forth.
Right.
But then I started getting heartsick because I'm like, well, where's my music? Where's the house music? Where's the house music? And so I started searching. That's when the internet started coming to be, because Gore gave us the internet.
Yeah.
But, we had I started searching, and gospelhousemusic.com was one of the sites. And there were other DJs, and I discovered there were other people who had the same passion, the same desire to do what I wanted to do with the music, and there was such thing as gospel music. I was correcting house music.
House,
like,
yeah.
Really? I'm like, wow. And then I also had a friend named Chemo Dockett at the time. He had a thing with what'stheword.com. He was a gospel hip hop guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he had this magazine, he knew a lot of the artists, the cross movements and the truth and all these people who were out there. He would interview them and put them on his platform, and they all knew him. And I had the opportunity to go with him to New York. There was this thing called Gospel Rap Fest in New York.
Okay.
I'm going to place with this. It seems like I'm jumping all over the place, but at the Gospel Rap Fest, I met Frankie Vibe. Frank Horvath, Frankie Vibe. He was a part of, I think, WFDU at the time. I think he was with WFDU, or he was with another radio station at the time with another guy. But
in New York?
In New York. I had met him first online. I met him first online through the Gospel House thing, because there were other DJs. Different people, Terrence Parker, all these people who were on there with the Gospel House. And I said, oh, okay, Gospel House. And caveat, Sam Burns, this is, all these things were coming together. Sam Burns at the State of Union, he had a mixtape that had Gospel House music in it. And the first track that I heard was Thank You by B.B. Winans.
One of my favorite records, bro, and I did not know it was like pure gospel house, but that song is so dope.
Do you know that he remade Lulu Vega? They remade that. He did a slower version, and then Lulu Vega came and did the version that we know and love right now. That thing was banging.
Yes.
Like I was floored because I'm like, that is gospel house, and so he had a whole mixtape with gospel house, and I was turned on again. And I'm like, okay, I was feverishly looking for this thing. But so jumping back again, there was still the gospel hip hop and rap thing, right? Mm-hmm. I was going along with it because I'm like, okay, I like music, and so there was a guy named Eric Kellum. Shouts out to him. He's a minister pastor now, but he would have these youth functions. He was the ones. There was the youth minister at our church at the time, Kingdom Life. It's turned into Dominion Church, but he would have his events, but he also had his youth events off-site with this other church.
Right.
But in that's how I met Chemo and Sonny and Thomas and all these other people that I know and love. Chemo, we went to New York, and that's where I met Frankie Vibe. Frankie Vibe was there because of the radio station, but he's a gospel house DJ.
Okay.
And we developed, communication. To this day, he doesn't remember he met me out there. I'm like, dude, come on. Man, I don't remember. But okay, I get it. But
pictures. That's what you should have had. Pictures.
We should have had an iPhone back then.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theorists say, yeah, we did have them, but yeah, whatever. But we had I met him there, and we stayed in communication. And we, back then I think Yahoo had their groups. You remember the Yahoo had their chat groups?
Yes.
And so we would all communicate and so forth. And we eventually were talking, and then in time, just developing, dating my wife. We eventually got married. From there, Frank and I, we were cool. And then we met this guy. Why are you typing what I'm saying? The phone. But we met this guy named Marcus Wade. Marcus Wade is the man. He has a lot of tracks out that he produces and so forth, but we were all working together in one period. And we went to this place called the Winter Music Conference. The Winter Music Conference is where in March timeframe, they don't do it as much anymore, but they had where all the artists, all the producers, all so forth converge on Miami Beach. And they have the live convention where you get theory, you get industry information, all the products and so forth, standards, how to do what you do better, and learn and meet the artists and so forth. There's two ways. There's two tracks. There's the one where you actually buy your the membership, just pay to go, pay the $400 whatever, $1 million to be a part of the actual convention, or you can do the non-sanctioned events. And so we were on the non-sanctioned side, but we would support other artists, other DJs who during that time period, I'm jumping, during that time period, we supported them because you want to be supported. You support those, they support you, right?
Yes.
So Marcus, I think he was canvassing the area. He actually had an artist that he dealt with that he helped promote, Rachel McDonald, Biblical Jones's cousin. He's a guy out of Baltimore.
Okay.
Let Your Love Fall Down on Me, I think, was one of the songs she sang, which, by the way, further on in the future, I heard it in Spain. I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm jumping all over the place. I apologize, but I'm excited. Then
it's your show. It's your show.
He produced her, and so I became known as the tech guy because I came with all these devices and gadgets and so forth. Plugging in chargers and so forth. Had power strips, and I became that guy that people came and charge their phones.
Yeah.
Back then, I'm sitting there, just taking pictures, and just this tech guy. I became this tech guy that people knew. Oh, he's the tech guy. This and that. And I had a phone that had it was a cassette tape. It was this. The phone case was a cassette tape. Is that a cassette tape? And that became a conversation piece, and we'd meet and take pictures and so forth. And I met a lot of people. I learned the process is okay. Well, how are you playing without records? Where, matter of fact, where are your CDs? That's the inception of thumb drives. That's when we start coming to play. The thumb drives. So there's another transition period. It still didn't catch me because at the time, even when I left that year, I'm still playing records and CDs, right?
Wow.
And so I didn't get a chance to really play that year, but I got a chance to see and just be able to participate. And my contribution was to capture pictures of the event. The artists, the DJs, the people, and just remember, it's called, I have pictures on Facebook, the WMC series, right? But just capturing people in the art and tag the artist here. I took a picture, be nice to meet you. Out of that, I got, I was able to get voice drops from my show.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, I was playing for a website, called The Master's Groove. Shout out to Rico Flores and everybody who was a part of that series. www.themastersgroove.com. We was there. We didn't have a presence at the time, but I sort of probably represented while we were there. And it wasn't until the second and third year that we went that I actually got a chance to play with Marcus. He put me on the venue as one of the DJs to play. And I really was getting my practice and following with the Masters Groove. And that opened up doors to play for other stations like House Beats Radio Station, House Station Records, Philly Nights Radio, DJs Underground.
Nice.
Just different online platforms. And it was crazy because I was literally playing almost every night. Definitely on the weekends, but every night. I praise God for my wife because she was very patient with me.
Yeah.
She was very patient, forgiving of time. But I would play. I was playing secular, again a little bit, of the clean music,
right.
Not crazy, but definitely a lot of gospel. My gospel was my platform on the Masters Groove for sure. But when I started breaking out to the other stations, I started, drifting a little bit to the secular side again.
Right.
But courting the artists, so to speak, they would actually support me. They would support me as I supported them, because it was a heavy thing. Because if you didn't have a team, you're promoting yourself. I'm creating my own flyers. I'm promoting the shows and other people. I'm supporting other people's shows. They're coming supporting my show. I'm going to venues. I'm doing live stuff. Going to different events and supporting this. Going to places like the Collective Minds in Baltimore. Just supporting the Bladensburg events out here in Maryland, with Cyber Jams, and so just different venues, just participating. Now, mind you, I wasn't with any club. I wasn't with any brick and mortar establishments. All of my, I won't say notoriety. All of my involvement DJing was online.
Right.
I transitioned from the live stuff to online. And so this is way before everybody was doing. We were forced to shut down, with the COVID. We were people actually DJing from home, these different platforms. And it's not something you just, I'm just going to DJ and just plug in. My stuff's going to be great. You have to perfect your craft. Yeah. You had to make sure that sound was right. You had to sound check, just like we did before this. You had to sound check. You had to make sure your camera was looking right. You had to make sure your background was looking presentable. This is a multiple step process. You can't go in there looking, half baked. And so, because people will talk about you, and your peers will criticize you, lovingly in most cases, hopefully, but it came a period that you perfected your craft, and it just became one thing after another. I was still online, and then eventually opportunities opened up. I met Tina Dixon, as you've met her. I've met Tina Dixon at WMC, and from WMC, she talked about a vision about, we spoke about this, where they do DJ meet and greets.
Yeah.
And she had a vision. Man, it would be great if DJs came together and we just came and no big guys, little U's, just come and just support one another and just, build each other up in our craft. I'm like, yeah, exactly. That, I bought into it, because I believed in what she was saying. A lot of other people did. So guess what? 2 years after the WMC thing, I'm jumping. I got a chance to play in Spain. We took our butts to Spain. This is and actually it was a dual purpose for us, because my wife and I, it was our anniversary. It was our 10-year anniversary.
Wow. And this is through Tina and her organization. Yeah. Shout out to Tina.
We went, there were a group of us. We went to Spain. You know how other professionals go with their suits and their briefcases, and they have the paperwork, and they're, dotting the I's, crossing their T's on the plane. Don't talk to me. We're here with our headsets and laptops, curating our music of what sets we're going to play.
Right.
On the ground, sharing music, comparing notes, learning our craft, giving hints and pointers to one another in congruency, as one unit.
Yes.
We went to Spain, Ibiza, Spain, and had
that is dope. When y'all told me that story, that is so dope, bro.
I'm like, wow. It can happen. It happened. If you believe, if you trust and believe, if you have a dream and you have people that believe in your vision, it can happen. It happened. And we have pictures to prove it. Thing,
you got pictures this time, right?
Yeah. That was great. It was phenomenal. Went to Spain and just got a chance to play in the clubs. Had our convention, met with one another. We just went the lay of the land. Got a tour. It was, there's a lot of work, but it was fun work.
Yeah.
It was fun work.
Now, what type of music did they play in Spain?
So, and by the way, I was a part of another station. Her name was Miss Ibiza. Miss Ibiza. And she has her station, Ibiza Live. Got a chance to play on that there. But I was there online, but I actually got a chance to do it live there in Spain. But they have more of a progressive house that they ask for. It's not so much the soulful. Now, if you don't mind it, what's going on with the soulful house genre is it has to stay true to the game, because what happens, there are a lot of these other genres that are coming in and I won't say pillaging, but the EDM and all that other stuff sort of waters down the house music. I don't particularly care for it. I get it. Some people say everything's EDM. No, it's not. That techno-ish type music, the higher energy type music.
Yeah.
Soulful house
is more mellow.
Is mellow. It's mellow. It's, it sticks true to the old soulful sounds. The Teddy Pendergrasses. And all and so forth. The melodious, the Luthers. The the Whitneys. That smooth groove type sound. Unfortunately, it doesn't get heavy play in certain areas, and so you sort of have to force it. And so, we played out there. Some people, we had to play our progressive type music. Right. But then that means you have to be flexible. Mm-hmm. You have to be flexible. You have to play for your audience. And actually sometimes the requirement of the station wants you to play a certain type of music, because then otherwise, otherwise it's, you're okay, you can cut that music right now. You got to play the game, man. You got to play. You got to know your audience. You have to know who you're working with. And, it was still a great experience, because again, how many people can say, "Hey, I went to Spain and played on a radio station. I went to play in a club. I went to work my passion overseas."
Overseas, that is so dope.
Amongst my peers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's some
and
doors.
It's something y'all set up. It wasn't, I'm going to this thing. This is something you guys planned, correct?
Thanks to Tina. Yes, yeah. Tina, and then when the like minds came together, my job was to capture the moments. Another guy named AD, he was capturing the video, doing the interviews. Tina was orchestrating this thing. My wife, shout out to my wife, she came out, supported heavily. We enjoyed ourselves. That was a great thing. It's amazing when you're on the same page, the things that you can accomplish.
Yeah.
That came from dream to inception in a matter of 2 years.
Wow.
If that. And then, here we are, in Spain. And so I keep regurgitating that. So from there, launched into another series of broadcasts. When I came back to States, I was invigorated. I'm like, oh man, we can do this thing. Was still with Masters Groove and started branching out to the other stations. Became very heavy. Then I met a guy named Tim Day. WBGR is his platform now, but at the time he wasn't with it. He was doing promotions. And we had the Lyrical Coffee House is the thing he wanted me to be a part of. He wanted me to DJ for that. Because I want you to do gospel house, because his platform is gospel. So he'd have all these different artists, the comedians,
right,
and so forth. And I wanted a gospel house DJ to play it. And so, whereas people didn't necessarily listen to the gospel house, I will play some other gospel too. But I'm sort of in a strange place, I would say, live, because in this area, it's not really a gospel house type area. You sort of got to force fit it. But they do listen to gospel.
Yeah.
So again, I had to learn to switch genres to be able to accommodate for the crowd of who I'm playing for. I actually am getting ready to play for my church this Sunday, but guess what? They don't listen to house music. They listen to the, whatever's on the radio. And so you have to learn to adjust to your environment, and there opened up other doors to play for other churches, to play for organizations, to play for online, to do events for jobs, for my job, different places I worked, different venues. I wasn't playing in a club anymore, but I was very busy. There was a period I became very busy, staying on the move. Just if I wasn't online, I was offline. Started doing things like doing video, doing edits, taking pictures, and it was rolling for a minute. And just this is prior to COVID, and then boom, COVID hit, and then I didn't get COVID, but I got sick. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I was diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure, and my body took a hit, and I was struggling for a long time. Had pain in my body. Doctor didn't know what was going on. I couldn't function. I had to shut everything down. I couldn't get out like I wanted to. It even took a while even to get to this because I'm like, okay, I want to organize and put a wall because I'm always, I love to see display of wall because this is your history. This is your history. This is your background, what you come from, right? As a DJ, the show. Okay, yep. Well, you're not somebody who just came out overnight. This, I have a history of playing in different venues. I'm not, and not to be boastful or prideful. It's just you have a background. Well, your voice matters.
Yeah.
How you play, what you say matters. Just make sure that what you're saying is worth something. Don't just out here just saying whatever. Because people are watching. Talking loud doesn't mean you're speaking truth. You're speaking anything important. There's a purpose and a plan. There's a reason why you're doing what you do. There are people who are listening who may need to be encouraged. First of all, there are people who want to learn because they're watching you, what you're doing, right? And you have to continue to know to stay humble. Stay humble. I don't care how impressive you when it's all said and done, when you die, you can't take it with you.
Yep.
And I want to be remembered as a person who helped somebody, who encouraged somebody, who made a difference in somebody else's life. Even if it's that one person to be able to say, okay, they encouraged me today. What he was saying and what he was doing, I want to be like I want to do what he's doing because, what he's doing is cool. Not
definitely.
Take look at me. No. This you want the gifts that you've been given is to help somebody else.
Yeah.
That's why you've been given that platform.
Yeah. Everybody put an amen in that chat box for that statement. The gifts that you have been given. Let me give you a woo on that one, bro. That's truth. Deep.
It's truth. It is truth. Hey everybody. Hey, what's going on, cousin? I have my cousin. Shout out to my cousin Linda in the house. Much love to you. Thank you for chiming in.
Yeah.
Tommy, what's going on? My brother DJ, hands up. Anybody else live and in the archive? Got a chance to hang out with brother Harry the big dog DJ interview in the house. Here to build you up, never tear you down. Thanks for coming around and listen to the sounds of this interview. So,
with your radio voice.
Very excited. Just excited, man. Just it all culminated to, God restored me. I actually was blind for months, for about 4 to 6 months, had cataracts. And so that really shut me down because I couldn't see.
Wow.
Couldn't see. These eyes right here are new. He basically, I went to the military doctor and they looked at my eyes. It was gray.
Wow.
One eye, this eye went out first, and then this eye. And for a week, I was out. And they went and got surgery. Did surgery at the VA hospital. Asked me how much I paid. $0. How much was it worth?
Look at you. You can see, right?
$1,200. $6,000. No, $12,000. It was $6,000 an eye. I did not have to pay a thing. That's nothing but God. And that renewed my vision. No pun intended. Of
yeah.
This is serious thing. He's a restorer. Yeah. He's a keeper. He's a keeper. He's an ever present help. He gave me this platform not so I can show myself my tail out here. You know, look at me, look at what I've done, look who I know, look what I've experienced. No, he did that so he can use my mouth, my voice, and what I can play, how I say, to be able to promote him, to show himself strong, to give the testimony of what he can do for you in your life. If he did it for me, he can do it for you.
Yeah.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your steps. He has been directing my steps, even when I was the little dub, trying to make my way in this marketplace. Little bro. Thank you. Little bro to DJ LDuB, to not just DJ LDuB. Now I'm a father. No, first of all, I'm a man of God. I'm a father. And not just a father, I'm a husband. And not only a husband, I'm a grandfather.
Wow.
Of soon to be 5 grandchildren.
Wow.
By name, Sinai is my oldest. Josiah is my second. I keep wanting to say Amir. Halo is my third. Amir is my fourth, and then I have one coming. There's one coming from Josiah's mom. And my children are named Stephanie, Simone, Tasha, Isaac. In the Bible, it says, blessed is a man with his head filled with a quiver of children. God has been doing that for me. I turned 50 3 years ago. I've been blessed to see my heritage, my generations that are coming after me, to be able to influence and show them. I want them to see and respect and be proud of the fact that they have somebody in their life who saw a dream, who's been given a dream and pursued that thing. And God opened doors. And he's been successful in allowing me to touch others. Not just locally, but internationally, because I played on international platforms.
Yeah, that answers. But DJ hands up question, because he was wanting to know, when you were in Spain, did you get the DJ there? Yes, you did.
Oh, absolutely. I apologize. I missed that. Yes, I did. I got a chance to play on Miss Luna. That's her name, Miss Luna, not Miss Luna Ibiza. Bitha. She had a radio station. And then also we played in different clubs while we were there. Each DJ got to play in different venues while we were there. One to promote what we were doing, but also to get our own thing, to what we do. That's the heart of Tina Dixon, to be able to help other people promote others, not just promote her platform, but hey, let's all come to this table. Everybody, if there's no seat at the table, you create the table.
Mm-hmm.
You create the table. You don't worry about, what you've not been invited to. You make your own platform and push it and believe in yourself. There is somebody always watching and listening, like Bishop Carrington, God bless him, a friend of ours in Baltimore, Bishop Carrington and Sister Althea, Pastor Al, God bless you. They were over our former church, and we're still friends to this day. They said the mic is always on. The mic is always on. The camera's always running. The mic is always on. The camera's always running. You got to watch what you're saying. You have to watch and comport yourself. You have to, govern yourself accordingly, because somebody's always watching you. And for me, that means I have young ones coming after me who are looking how I conduct myself, how I respond to things, how I, even in my failings, how do I deal with challenges? Do I get it right? Heck no, I don't. I do not. But there's grace. God has blessed me. God has put me on platforms like this, DJ interview. Come on now, of me, of all the people you could have interviewed. There's so many talented people out there, but yet I have this opportunity to be on a platform, to have a voice, to speak with us, says the Lord, to be able to tell my story. And I don't take it for granted. I don't take it for granted, because I've had the ability to be able to do this thing that I thought that I couldn't do, man, when am I going to get a platform to do this? How can I ever do such a thing? And here it is. I've had the multiple opportunities to do that thing and to meet people and to support others and to be supported and to love and to be loved. And yes, there were challenges, but that's a learning experience.
Yeah. It's crazy the way we met. We
DJs.
literally, me, DJ Cam, and a couple other people literally just got there. And a few minutes later, me, you, and Tina is outside doing an interview.
Like
How
that.
crazy is that, bro?
Like that. A great
Just
interview.
like that. I don't know if I had this shirt on or my other DJ interview shirt on, but oh man. I'm gonna run that interview. I was just doing a little editing on it.
That's cool.
And I'm a run it and let it play. It is just so dope to sit there and talk to you and Tina and really get to understand you're military, so we there already.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh
Just
man,
two kindred spirits, and so that it was just right on, just perfect, spot on. You were patient, first of all, because we were trying to get it together. But
yeah,
come on, man, let's go, let's do it. And we just went out.
But we both know how tech works.
Right.
we were outside. We were using another cell phone as a microphone.
Right. Had
as a backup microphone in case the other one didn't work, because we were outside. You got cabs rolling by. You got people. Right. So
it was great. It was great. In the midst, if you don't have a platform, create the platform.
Create one.
We weren't the headlines on that venue. We weren't the headlines on it. We made what was available work.
Yeah.
Because two or more in agreement. We were in agreement and on the same page. And that, and now I have a product to encourage somebody. And then from that, develop relationship, and here we are today.
Eventually I'm gonna have Tina on here. Tina Dixon, everybody.
You got to get it. Tina Dixon.
And we'll talk about that first meeting and then all the stuff that she's been doing prior and getting ready to do, because I know y'all got some big plans in the future.
Continue to push that thing. Continue to encourage, looking to work to get something that can encourage maybe for Thanksgiving or Christmas. I know so there's the Worldwide DJ Network Gospel Chapter, and that's what DJ Hands Up, George Dunbar, and myself are part of.
Okay.
And, we co-lead that. We're trying to find a venue, trying to find something to be able to push and promote, not just to play music, but to do like a altruistic type thing where, like a food drive or a clothes drive or something,
mm-hmm.
something for the homeless or something for children, children disparaged. Music is the bridge for it, but the main purpose is to minister, to be able to like outreach.
Right.
So that's something we're trying to figure out. For me, I've been in a lot of events. I've done a lot of events, but sometimes I guess where I need help with, or we need help with, is to try and find the venue, try and find the resources to be able to pull that thing together. Because we have no problem jumping in and doing our part. It's getting the reliable resources to be able to gel it together. So I believe it's going to come together. It's just a matter of who, what, when, and where. He's in New Jersey. I'm down in Maryland. We just gotta,
Well, let's plan to get on. DJ Hands Up. Hopefully you're still on. Let's plan to get on all together, so you guys can explain what you do. You said it was a third one too. A third person.
No, it's right. So we're the two over it, but Tina's over the Worldwide DJ Network.
Okay.
It's us two.
Okay.
Right. We have a host of other brethren and friends and so forth who are gospel DJs, gospel house DJs, but gospel DJs. There's so many who are within the circle and purview. It's the challenge is just getting everybody together, because everybody is,
Yeah.
We're coming out of this COVID thing, so everybody's trying to get their feet wet again, so to speak. Some people are running, and other people are coming along. But I believe when it's all said and done, it's going to be a magnificent effort once we get it, once we get everything solidified. But the key thing is to continue pressing forward. I mean, this right here has helped and encouraging me because I'm remembering, okay, I do this thing. I am a part of this craft.
Yes.
Just and by not, like Brother Joe would tell me, by not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm actually being disobedient because, there should be no reason why I'm not doing it. Don't come up with excuses. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Nike. Just do it.
Just do it. Stop playing.
So DJ LDuB, as we start wrapping this thing up, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Absolutely. First, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I would be a fool not to acknowledge him, what he's done in my life and what he's doing in my life, what he's done those around me. Period. Thank you, Lord, for just being with me, being patient with this one right here. I thank him for my wife, Nanette Wharton, who is very patient and loving. We this year, I think we're 16, going on 17 years of marriage. Wow. Shout out to my loving children, Stephanie, Tasha, Simone, Isaac. My family members, definitely shout out to my cousin, Linda Myers. Thank you for coming to supporting her brother. My brother Donald, who actually was pivotal in bringing me out to this area that I'm thriving now.
Yeah,
it's opened up doors for me. If I'd have stayed where I was, who knows what the heck I'd be doing. Friends who helped guide and lead me as I went. Shouts out to George Calloway, who's on WCSC, UHN, and WKIM with me. Joe was on there with me too. We had our radio station that we were doing during the time period. Rico Flores, of course, I did. Now is that DJ Bash, DJ Gary of the Way, DJ D Real, all the different people. Anybody, please charge it to my head and not to my heart if I'm forgetting anybody. But there's so many people who have been pivotal in my life. Who my pastor Fuller and this and the New Song Church family, who currently we're a part of. Just faithfully loving on us. Our care group, the Simeon Care Group. I have to let you guys know I love you. Anybody who's ever had an impact in my life, my teachers, my family members, anybody, people who hired and trusted me, in their business, who gave this guy the opportunity to do what I love to do. I'm just very thankful. I thank you for having me on this camp, just to be able to speak my mind and to just share what's on my heart. I don't take it for granted. I don't take it. Thank you, cuz. I love you all who will be listening to this interview. If you want to hear more about my story, I have plenty to say.
We'll have to have a part 2 soon.
No problem. There's not enough reel on the tape, But I thank you. I thank you for having me out here, brother Harry.
Man, it's been a pleasure talking with you for the last almost hour and a half.
Wow.
And just, the time just seems to fly. I'm remembering earlier in the interview you talk about, Lil Bro. You DJ Lil Bro, and now we're an hour and a half later, and thank you, bro, for coming on. And thank you for being you and doing what you do. What do you guys, last question, what do you guys got planned for the future? As of the recording of this video / audio, it's the November of 2022. Now we're getting ready to get into 2023. What do you guys have planned?
My hope and desire is I want to produce a track one day. I want to produce a track. I do a lot of editing. I edit other people's work. I want to create my own. I want to learn that process. I want to connect with somebody and partner and create a gospel house track. yeah, there's gospel tracks. I know, Joe. I hear you. I know, but he's like, man, it can't just be gospel house, man. It's got to be gospels, But I want to create a gospel house track that's going to inspire and touch somebody's heart. I want to create something that's going to impact somebody's life, not just for the sake of the numbers or the rise of the fame and all that. I want to touch somebody,
Right.
And not just music. I want to produce. Whether it be like a video, something, video. Eventually, I'd like to write a book. I just got to put, pedal to the metal, just words to the action to the words, right? And just, I feel it's in me. I have a lot in me that I want to get out, and creatively take the pictures, capture moments, continue to do that. Just contribute, contribute. Father said, leave it better than you came. And so,
nice.
What's ever said and done in my life, I want to have made an impact. And that's the goal. And how do I do that? I know I play music. I know I take pictures. I know I help other people with the edits and so forth. But I want to add to that, writing books, creating music, submit submissions of work, of art, with photography and so forth. My son, by the way, does great art. That dude got gifts, skills. All my children have gifts and skills, but just want to shout them out. Just continue to press. Don't give up. And to whoever's listening, don't give up. Continue to. You are here. If you got breath of life, you have a purpose. Continue to press and believe.
Yes, sir. Man, this is Harry the Big Dog. This is the DJ interview. We've been talking with DJ LDuB.
Hey,
and that's it. We're getting out of here.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
How could people get in contact with you?
So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's DJ LDuB, just like you see it there. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. It's DJ LDuB. And then I have a website, www.djldub.com, just like it's spelled, DJLDuB.com. And I'm there. Just you hit me up. I have no problem. I talk. I like to talk. So, as you can tell, I like to talk. I love to talk. But I love to even more encourage and pray. So. If you want to discuss some of the things we talked about tonight, or you just have things on your mind, you want to collaborate and so forth, hey, here I am.
Definitely. Well, we're going to end this thing right here. Thank you again. I cannot express the gratitude I have for you coming on and telling your story.
Thank you.
We will see you guys in the next episode.